Welcome back to the International Wealth Builders Association radio talk show. I'm your host, Toya Tillett. I'm here with my co-host, Dr. Sharon Barnes today, co-host and business partner. So before we left for the last commercial break, we kind of were talking about how throughout our partnership, people started thinking or assuming that we were mother and daughter because of our age difference, I'm assuming. And so it was kind of funny. We had a lot of fun with that, actually.
Yeah, and it worked to my benefit a lot of times.
Yes.
I would go places. I'm like, okay, can I be your mother, and you go take care of me and do this, that, and the other.
Yes.
But the interesting thing about me, they did, kind of assume that, but it was really interesting to see like some of the events and the networking and places we would go.
Yes.
It was very interesting because of our partnership, we were able to kind of like get different leads and different information out of the room. Because we'd be in the same place and we're talking basically the same thing and we're working together. But she would come out with different leads, different contacts, and I would come out with. And so actually it was really beneficial to the business for us to work together. And because of the age difference and even the backgrounds and whatever, we were able to, to farm different but beneficial to the relationship. So, yeah, It has been fun. And they still think me mother and daughter. And
I know,
and
right?
then sometimes, I have to, chastise her like I'm a mother.
Yeah, she be getting on me, y'all. She will.
Tell her I want to be a multimillionaire by the time she gets to be my age.
Yes. Definitely working on that. And so, even within the brokerages we worked at, everybody knew us as partnerships. And then if one of us wasn't there, it'd be like, oh, where's your mom? If I was in the office and Sharon wasn't there, where's your mom today? And I'm like, my mom, she at the house. It's like, oh, you talking about Sharon. Oh, okay. And then if I wasn't there, vice versa, where's your daughter?
Yeah.
It's like, okay. I was like, this is really funny. So, I thought I had a lot of fun. Having fun with it still to this day, and I call her Mama Sharon. Especially when she getting on me about something.
Yes.
Throughout our partnership, we've had some serious ups and downs when it came to real estate, and then we started looking into investing. Yes. Because, we're hearing all these wonderful things. There's all this, you can invest with no money and all that stuff. So we started doing our research, and we got an angel investor who was interested in investing in us for us to start, doing some more investment type deals. So this is why we have the understanding, which we've always had the understanding and know-how of how to work with an investor, especially being able to do the numbers and knowing the legal aspects of it as well. And so what better helped us understand was stepping into that role ourselves.
Right.
And so we stepped into becoming developers, and we did a flip in Victorville. And it was fun.
Yeah, you learn a lot.
Yes, we learned a lot. We could literally probably write a nice book about that one.
We really should.
And how that went, and having definitely. For all the new investors out there, or even seasoned ones, you got to make sure you vet your people, because, had a contractor who's like, I do work for flippers all the time and get them in and out before the first payment is due. We went with that. We trusted him. And 8 months later,
he disappeared.
Yes,
behind schedule and everything.
Yes.
So you need to vet them, and you need to really have a nice procedure in place for the information and how you communicate with your contractors and how you manage the schedule and so forth, and then to be true to yourself. That and it's a mindset change, because we know that really in order to learn anything, like I deal with a lot of people building accessory dwelling units now, and that a lot of people want to know like how much it costs. They want to find out everything before they take that first step,
right? And
you really have to get in the water to really learn how to do it. So when we stepped out, the first thing was and we're going together and we're looking at property and we're talking about what to do. And it's like, first of all, you got to get at your house that you're not going to live in it. Okay. So it's not, what you like and dislike is secondary to the economical impact for the end result. Okay. And then, you really understand, even as realtors, a lot of times when we are listing property for other people, we have to think about who is this property going to be suited for.
Right.
One of the big ones we always say is investor property, or is it a consumer property? Okay. And so different factors go into that. It's no different than when you're going in to do the flip. It's like, okay, who are we fixing this house up for?
Right.
And what type of family, so that you can price it right, you can keep your rehab costs right. And but just like anything, the best planning can't detect that water leak when you walk on the grass, and all of a sudden your foot goes down in a mud hole. Okay, that
And
wasn't
your water
in the
bill
budget.
is almost $1,000.
And no one's living in the property. Yes, those type of things that catch you off guard and go over budget. And so, there's a lot of lessons that we learned on that project, and how to walk it through. But I do want to, on the first segment, I talked about the Real Vitalize program for people interested in selling. And I want to say that program has also been used by investors. And what we did is enrolled it in the program, and so we were able to get the plumber to come out and take care of the unforeseen leak. We were able to get the funds to take care of the repaving of the driveway that the HOA was saying had to be textured stamped. Couldn't be that we didn't know.
Regular flat concrete. It had to be a certain color. It had to look a certain way.
Yeah.
Oh, and then they didn't want the tree anymore.
Oh yeah, we had to do landscape and put in the rocks and drought resistant lawn. Things that again, being the investors and not understand the impact of the HOA and what they would require was extra cost, not going beyond what we saw as the construction, rehab, general things that we wanted to do. And then we put the house on the market and had people coming through and interested. We got some low offers, got no offers, and we were standing there like, okay, what's going on here? Why isn't it selling? And so,
mind you, this was at the top of 2020, right before the whole world shut down too.
Exactly. And so we also used the Revitalize program to get another contractor. We said one had disappeared, but we had another contractor come through, and I just really wanted that contractor to come through and look at what had been accomplished on the property and give us his opinion as to why it wasn't selling. And it really wasn't any big things. It was like right there. He was like, but you didn't put any charging stations in. Okay, you think about technology. It's like, yeah, everyone has a cell phone, so you need to put in the charging stations. And then the contractor had put in the regular standard, light switches.
Oh, yeah.
He says, no, you have to put in dimmers, okay? Yeah, and they need to be bright white, not this beige. And it's just little things like that. But to take advantage of his information and suggestions, we corrected those things.
Yes.
And within a week, we sold the property.
Yes.
And so, again, hands out to Revitalize.
Yes, thank you, Revitalize.
Yes,
I know, because at one point I even had to send my husband to help the other contractor out because he was just so far behind schedule. And it was just like, okay, you told me 45 days max, and here we are at month 7. And it's like, when are we going to be done here?
Yeah. And then the weather had the impact. Like it was raining. It's like, okay, so it's raining outside. Well, do the inside. Well, no, we can't do that because it won't dry and you get moisture. And so we learned a whole lot about things and, but very interesting, but it helped us get a greater insight into how to serve our investors, walk with them, understand what they go through, and really be able to be a better resource to them and to ourselves on further investment deals. But you have to, walk the walk and talk the talk, and we all fall down, but we do get up.
We do get up. And one of the things, me being the numbers and financial person, one of the biggest things for me was finding out that when they say they'll do 100% rehab, like when you get the hard money lender or the private money lender, and they give you a portion of the proceeds to purchase plus they say 100% rehab, we didn't know initially that meant we actually had to come out of pocket and we were going to be reimbursed. And then on top of being reimbursed, after it was approved by the lender, they were also charging a fee every time they had to give us a draw for the reimbursement. So that does kind of cut into your bottom line as far as your profits and your ROI goes. So those are other things, for people to look out for. I know more of the seasoned investors, they probably already know that and understand that. But if you're coming into it new, when you see that 100% rehab is done, you're not getting that money up front. You have to get it started. So you always want to make sure that you have enough for your closing costs, and you want to have a nice little reserve set aside, at least 6 months of reserve, I would say, for your interest payments if you get interest only, and also to get your rehab started. So maybe about 20 to 30%, maybe to even just get the rehab started, so that when you do start getting the draws, you're not missing too much money, because we had to go through a point where we were kind of almost recycling dollars, and it got kind of hard for a little bit, but we were able to work it out and get through it at the end. So so just that little word of advice for me on the financial side.
Yeah, exactly. And really getting a understanding of what the hard money lenders are at. I mean, because the interest rate wasn't that bad. I mean, if you could keep the timeline and get to the other side, then we had the lesson of the bridge capital. And so it is good. Like Toya said earlier, this is like co-sponsored with the Black Inland Empire Investment Club, and investment clubs are very important if you're going to get into that arena. You get a lot of resources, a lot of lessons, and then you don't know when you're going to walk in the room and say, hey, I have this deal going on and I'm like $15,000 short, and find someone who will trust in you and walk with you to help you get there to the end. So again, lessons learned from real estate listings on traditional side, from the investment side. And again, all these, you have to take your experiences and kind of walk them out to be that platform that helps you elevate to another level. And so we went through all of that. And I believe that was before Miss LaToya opened her brokerage, before she became an international real estate professional, before she got involved and moved to the top of the class with a nationwide female investment group, and really wore that hat a developer. So again, but it's to never forget the lessons learned as we move forward, and then keep that core network together so you can always pick up the phone and be a resource to somebody.
Yes, for sure. So, that kind of segues us into our next topic that we'll talk about when we come back from the commercial break. We'll tell you guys a little bit about what we're doing now on our separate paths, because as Sharon mentioned, I did go ahead and get my broker license. And so we'll talk about that in a couple minutes. See y'all soon.